Teddy Feinberg, Brook Stockburger, Teddy and Brook Show, week 99999. Brook, Aggie basketball, let's get the ball rolling. A lot of rumblings, first of all, about Sim Bhullar possibly going to the NBA draft and Marvin Menzies possibly changing job locations. What are your thoughts on, let's start with Sim.
Yeah, some very interesting news here in the offseason. Sim, 7'5" guy, I've always thought, boy, if he really puts his nose to the grindstone, somebody's going to give him a look, but he's not ready. I don't think he's ready right now to make that jump. He needs more work on his skill and on his toughness, I think. He's a good guy, he's got the size, but I would stay in school if I was him.
From a skill standpoint, he's not there, I don't think. I think that needs to be developed. Then again, I can understand the perspective of a player wanting to come out because again, you're 7'5". Your playing career might not span till you're 31 or 32 years old. He might feel the need he has to capitalize on professional opportunities at this point. Then, of course, when you consider he's Indian descent, that is rare in basketball. Probably the only NBA player ever to go, play on that level, with that background. So there's some marketing opportunities there. Clearly, from a skill standpoint, he is not there. He still needs to develop in that area. Again, I can understand a player like that wanting to come out, though, for the reasons that were just mentioned.
He's had some injuries.
Please, go ahead.
He's had some injury issues.
There you go.
As you pointed out, too, and maybe he feels like the clock's ticking.
He obviously had a foot injury this past year. There's a lot to factor in when you're in those shoes, and it's easy to pass judgment if you're not in those shoes, and of course we are not. So we'll see where he decides to go. Again, I think he could use some development on this level, but again, I can understand his train of thought.
That's why they have the developmental league, maybe. Or maybe a trip over to Europe or someplace. Could suit him well.
Now let's move on to Marvin. He garnered some interest from Washington State, rightfully so. And now, of course, Tulsa was in the mix here. Now it looks like they could also be leaning toward Frank Haith, who is from the University of Missouri. But what are your thoughts here?
I think it's good for Coach Menzies to be looking. He's only going to go so far at New Mexico State, and that's not anything negative to New Mexico State. But coaching is one of those jobs where
it's a mid-major program,
right? You jump to the next one. You try to get a bigger job. And he hasn't won the NCAA tournament yet, or won in the NCAA tournament is what I mean yet. So maybe that's holding him back a little bit. But I think if he gets the opportunity, I'd hate to see him go because I think he's done a good job here. But he's smart to go.
As we've mentioned before, if they win a WAC regular season championship and go run the table and they go and win a tournament game or two, this isn't even a conversation. He is gone. I think Coach Menzies has done a very solid job here, a very credible job here. 4 tournaments in 5 years is nothing to shake a stick at. The program's in fine ground. Again, if he had the aforementioned accomplishments, this would be a no-brainer. And I do think they're on their way, so we'll see. And maybe it will work out for him. Nothing's etched in stone in the 24/7 news cycle with social media. I'm surprised Rasheed Wallace's name wasn't thrown out there. Everybody's name is out there. Let's move on to Aggie baseball. That'd be crazy if Rasheed Wallace got the Tulsa coaching job. Let's move on to Aggie baseball. They had an interesting situation. Coach Mike Evans, their pitching coach, for all intents and purposes, he is gone.
Yeah. Something happened on the road. That's easy to say, not easy to figure out what exactly. There must have been some conflict, and for some reason, Coach Ward didn't want him around anymore.
Him and Coach Ward always had an interesting dynamic. Obviously, this is speculation at this point, but that was kind of like a bad marriage. They kept bringing him back because I think Coach Evans did a solid job with the pitching staff a bunch of years, and I think Coach Ward recognized that in NCAA regional a couple years ago. They're never going to have just a dominant rotation over there. It's very tough, but I do think personalities. He was here 3 years, and personalities can grind, it can clash, but clearly he's not there anymore.
Yeah, and winning covers a lot of ills too. And
no question.
And losing, aggravates things.
Yes,
it accentuates problems, and the Aggie team's struggling this year.
This is really a long show. We're about to hit the 10-minute mark. Let's move on to Aggie football. They have their spring game on Saturday. Anything you're interested in?
Yeah, I always love the quarterbacks in spring because you never know what you're going to get. Especially with the Aggies. You have freshmen coming in that haven't even been in the program yet. You have a new look from last year. People have moved positions. It's just interesting to see how the quarterbacks have advance some this spring, and where their crisp throws are at. Are they not crisp? Are they holding in the pocket well? Just there's a lot of things.
We're moving on the 11-minute mark now. They really only have one guy in spring ball, and that was Tyler Rogers, junior college transfer. Brook alluded they're bringing in 5 freshmen. I thought Tyler looked pretty good this spring. He made some good throws. He's obviously a young player. He's still developing, so that's clearly an area to watch. It seems like they move personnel around an awful lot, actually. So their secondary is brand new. Their defense is brand new. They moved some quarterbacks to the secondary, Trayvon Caldwell, King Davis. I think offensively they look pretty solid in most areas this year. Defensively, they look like a major work in progress. But it's always fun football, at least for me. I don't know how a lot of people feel about going out to the spring game. But at 6 o'clock, it's at Aggie Memorial Stadium, and admission is free. So if you're around and you want to check it out, go check it out. Prep Sports, Oñate 21 in softball. We always mention this every week. Let's bring it up again.
Hey, those ladies are on a roll. 20-1 in softball. They're tearing it up right now. So it'd be great for the school to see them maybe bring home a title.
Very cool. Mayfield baseball, they're 4-1 in district. Alamogordo baseball is 4-2. Oñate is 3-3. Cruces is 1-5. Centennial baseball and Gadsden, of course, they're around the 500 mark as well. I say that every week. Centennial baseball is pretty solid as well. They are 1-1 in district. They actually host a key district doubleheader tonight against Chaparral. But of course, you will probably watch this after tonight. So we have clearly hit our limit. We have clearly hit our limit here.
Good show. We covered a lot of stuff.
At B Stockburger on Twitter. At Teddy Feinberg on Twitter. LC Sun-News. Facebook. Sports, Sun News Sports, the Cruces Sports blog. Thanks for watching us. 12-minute mark. See ya.